Have you ever experienced that one moment when you know that one decision that you make in that nanosecond of time will change the trajectory of everything? Of everything. Let's talk about it. Well, hello. What? You'd be like, yeah, what?
Yay!
Hello and welcome to the Tequila Hour. My name is Amanda, still is and probably will be for the rest of my now life. We won't go into name changes. Anyway, hi, how are you? Today it is the 1st. We'll talk about that, unbelievably. The 1st of February 2026 here in Australia, New South Wales, in the motherfucking secret location. If you know where that motherfucking is. Anyway, mate, I have a lot to talk about and at the same time nothing. No. You'd be like, well, why are you then talking? I don't know. Question I ask myself all the time. Anyway, no, there is always something I could talk about. So let's talk about it. Where do I start? Apparently, I have no idea. Shall we start with some motherfucking admin? Yes, we shall. That's right, bitches. As this week quickly draws to an end, it was my birthday several days ago now, and it's gone. It's done and dusted for another year. Turned 53. Yes, I survived. What is that smash? Apparently nearly got hit by a truck. No. Yes, I survived. So, yes, my birthday was on the 27th. I'm now a year older. Bada bing, bada boom, as they say. Had a great day. I had a crazy day. I spent most of the day in the pool here in Australia, where I'm in New South Wales, where I am located. And if you know, you know. It was a reasonably warm day. It is actually a very warm day today. I'm kind of getting really hot. It was a warm day. I spent most of the day in our backyard temporary pool. I won't talk about that in depth, and it has depth. That's weird. Yes, in the pool, swanning around like a princess, drinking tequila in my, what do you call it, those big, I keep thinking sippy cups, but that's not what it'll come to be. And, yes, I very quickly got drunk and I enjoyed myself. My husband cooked a really nice dinner on our smoker and that was awesome. And then I think by the time I ate and kind of sobered up a bit and I was like, I was done. And, yes, I was then working the next day. So, yeah, I had to I had that day off for my birthday, which was really nice. And, yeah, the next day I was working. So straight back into a bitches and the end. So, yeah, I had a good birthday. I got some really cool, like some little trinkets, which was really nice. I also got I didn't know exactly what I was getting, but my husband and I, we do kind of go, well, birthdays, Christmas, etc. Send me a list of what you want. For me personally, I always ask my husband for a list. He never gives me one. It's a whole thing. Don't get me started. Me, if you want to know what I want, I'll fucking tell you. So like, bam, 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 bam. You asked, now I shall receive. But what I did get is one thing that I did asked for, which was a repeat of a perfume that I'm staring at it right now as I'm doing this podcast. 1270 Frappen. I'll put a link in the description of this podcast. It's one of the first niche perfumes that I ever purchased several years ago when I was doing YouTube reviews of perfume, and that was a few years ago now. And yeah, I just fell in love with niche perfumes. Once you know, and you start delving into that glorious world, if you're into perfume and scent as much as I am, it's a huge world. And yeah, Frappen is a sublime company in regards to the perfumes that they produce. And yeah, 1270 is just a glorious, and for me it's pineapple and rum. And yeah, I'm not giving it justice by saying those two notes, but it's pineapple and it's rum. And if you like those notes, and it's it's fucking, yeah, I can't, yeah. It's a glorious scent, and I'm very lucky to get that for my birthday, a repeat. So yeah, very happy with that. Like I said, a couple of knicky-knack things. I bought a couple of things for myself as well. The Hermes Foundation was one of them. I also stayed, which I'll get into throughout this podcast later in the week, I stayed in Sydney for a couple of days, which was really nice. That's the other awesome thing that I got, which was a voucher for a massage, which I asked for, which now I'm going this Wednesday, a 90-minute relaxation. I can't speak because I'm that excited. Relaxation massage. Very much looking forward to. And yeah, it was short. It's sweet. I was blessed with some beautiful gifts. Came back to work, some beautiful birthday messages. And yeah, that was Tuesday, and now it's Sunday. In between, like I just mentioned, I spent a couple of days in Sydney working, and then I actually stayed at the Hilton, which was really nice, may I say. And I really like the Hilton. Normally, I have been lately staying at the Fullerton. If you are from Australia and you are definitely from Sydney, you know these two hotels. Internationally, you would know of the Hilton, but yeah, great hotels. But yeah, I stayed at the Hilton for a change, and that was really nice. And yeah, I had a really good time, shall we say. So yeah, it was good. And yeah, today, yeah, I'm now sitting here and it's the 1st, and I really, for, I don't know, a couple of moments thought, what am I going to talk about today? You know, I was going to do a podcast primarily just about turning 53, but to be honest, it's just another year now. You have a birthday and you realise that you're a year older, and instead of 52, you're 53. Do I feel very different in a matter of days? No, I don't. I will say to you though, and for anyone who has listened to my podcast regularly, yes, I have changed a lot in the last couple of years, to the point where certainly my evolution, shall we say, in my own self-development and what I want to achieve out of my life and how I feel about things and the direction I want to go, it's clear. I mean, I was going to say crystal clear, but perhaps cloudy on the edges, and that's okay. I mean, does it need to be crystal clear? No, it doesn't, but I certainly do have a much more clearer understanding of what I do want and how I can achieve those things. So especially in the last, shall we say, probably since November of last year, where, look, there's been a couple of things that have really tested me, shall we say, personally. And through those processes, yeah, I certainly have had to learn a lot about not only people, certain people that I interact with in my life, but then certainly explore more about myself. So yeah, that's what I'm going to talk about today. I'm going to talk about a moment, and I do have a particular moments that come to mind very quickly, very sharply. So let me think about how in depth and how transparent, shall we say, I want to be about those one moments. But while I ponder that, I'm just going to have a quick drink. Give me a second. Bam, bam. Okay, that was quick. Oh, well, it was kind of quick. I'm like, I better hurry the fuck up because my husband did do overtime today, giving me the opportunity to do, he didn't do it for me. He did it. And simultaneously, this is the day I record. So gave me the opportunity to record in silence and not have to worry about. But anyway, I digress. A moment. Now, you'd be like, what moment? What are you talking about? What are you talking about, Amanda? Like I just said literally seconds ago, there has been a real shift in my mindset in reference to being very clear on, I'm going to, I don't know, let's have something, for example. I've got a drink. I'm going to buy this drink. I want that drink. I'm buying it. No if, buts, or maybes, okay? That's probably a pretty crap example because it's not that hard. Be like, man, how hard is it to buy a drink? Well, I like tequila, so it's not too hard. But what I'm trying to say is there is those deeper feelings, desires, wants, needs that have been brought to the surface and I have made clear-cut decisions on in the last 2 months, in particular this last month, in particular this last fortnight. And, yeah, the moment I'm thinking of, and I'm not going to tell you of the moment, blow by blow, even though I'm very tempted to because it was very enjoyable, is, and I want to kind of explain this to you because I don't know if you as a listener have experienced moments like this. I've talked about having epiphanies, and that's one thing that's quite surreal and can be quite dramatic in someone's life. It was dramatic in mine when it happened, that particular thing that happened. It did change the course of my life completely, the trajectory that we talked about in the opening line. You could say this the same, but it wasn't an epiphany. It was a moment, and how do I describe this to you that might make some sense, and then you can perhaps take away what I'm saying and think about if you've experienced this same moment yourself. So it literally, I don't even want to use the word literally because it did. Time stopped is what I'm trying to say. Now you'd be like, really? Now you control time, do you, bitch? Now you're getting carried away. No, I'm not getting carried away. I'm saying to you that I can close my eyes and think about this particular moment as I swallow deeply, and time stopped. It stopped. And, yeah, is this about time? This is about quickly. We all know how fleeting time is and how quickly time is escaping us, and I would probably recommend that, knowing that I've just turned 53, am I worried about getting older? No, not really. Actually look forward to it. I think it's being more conscious of the fact that time is moving so quickly that, you close your eyes and you open them and a week's like, as an example, a week's passed. And I know I've touched on this in the sense of, is it because we're so absorbed with all the bullshit that's happening within our own lives, our own microorganisms of, our homeostasis that, I don't know why I just said it like that, that we're just so caught up in it all that when time does slow down or when we're experiencing a particular moment that's so moving and so, I don't even think visceral is the word or guttural is the word. They're two words that come to mind for different reasons, but it's really beautiful actually. And that's why I want to talk about it, because it's not something that happens very often when you actually, in your whole, if you want to say, in your whole embodiment of a human being, recognize and are present completely in a period of time where time stops, and you can recall that exact moment and you can feel like time stops again. It's very hard to explain, actually, verbally. For me, if I was to explain it, and I'm trying my best to explain it here because it truly is unexplainable. If I'm talking about, and I'm thinking about movies like Interstellar for some reason, if you've seen it, you might understand what I'm talking about, that I'm trying to explain to you that at a particular moment that I was a part of in this last fortnight, time stopped completely, to the sense of I actually felt it stop. I don't know how to explain it. It's weird when I'm not doing a very good job of this, and I'm not a physicist, but I was trying to understand it myself in my mind intellectually yesterday when I was driving home from Sydney in the car. And, this is different, but can they be similar? Perhaps they could be, but it's not the same. You're in a car and you're driving and you're daydreaming and, you're at a certain point, and before you know it, you're on another point and you're like, where the fuck, what, how did I get to this point? And, a lot of that is, I suppose, it's partial dissociation. I don't know how else to explain it. It's not time, it's not time moving forward or backward in that moment of you driving. It's the fact that you're not clearly present and, your brain is, I don't know, blocks it out, puts a filter on, I don't know, and that's, you're at A and B, and before you know it, you're at B and you're like, what the fuck? Where was A? Where was point A? This is different to that, and that's why I was like, honestly, yesterday in the car, I'm like, how do I fucking explain that time stopped and what does that feel like? It physically feels like that there's nothing else, that there is nothing else. And I suppose for someone like myself who is always, a lot of the time in their head, thinking about this, that, and everything else and all of the above, to actually acknowledge a moment in the space-time continuum where I literally, even now, I think of that moment and I think, time stopped. It felt like it stopped. And why am I getting emotional? I don't know if it's because it stopped because, I know this sounds fanciful, that time actually stopped. Like I said, I'm not that powerful, that it actually stopped, or that it felt like time stopped because my brain was trying to process the moment. I would say it's probably a bit of part A and part B, but yeah, I don't know. I mean, I'd have to say to you that it would probably be related to intense moments. So therefore, if a moment is particularly intense and it aligns to particular, I don't know, feeling or thought or, a process that you're trying to decipher at that particular moment, then I'm assuming that the feeling would be more acute. Good word. Where did that come from? Acute. It was, but I'm trying to. I can't. I actually can't. I have no words for it. But there has been times, and that is one time in the last fortnight where, and I'm going to say that I honestly think that it did stop. It stopped, and I don't know if it's because, and I've talked about this, and I don't know if you believe in any of this or not, that, there's a greater consciousness and there's something. I can't explain it to you, and that's certainly something that I am trying to and want to somehow be a part of. I've talked about that, but I'm not going to talk about that today. Let me just grab a drink. Give me a second.
Hold on, let me take my time.
And I'm back. That was weird. It's very hard to, anyway, I don't need to explain myself. Yes, this is the thing. It's very hard to explain what I'm trying to say in reference to time stopping, but I want to talk about it because it was beautiful, actually. And I don't know if it's because I was unencumbered by everything and there was no thought and it was just presence, and as in not present like in TS, but presence. And therefore, in that particular moment, I was completely present, like completely present. And that's why it feels so real and powerful. I'm not quite sure. I also feel like there's a sense of it aligning to some of the decisions or this particular decision that I have recently made personally for myself. And it has been, that's the thing, it hasn't been scary at all. It's not only illuminated, but it's brought peace of mind to me. And I think, maybe in one podcast, or I don't know how much I've touched on this, this brings up another moment which is completely separate to time stopping, but there was a moment, and I think I've discussed this months ago now, that I was staying at the Fullerton and I'd had a particular day and I was having a particular moment, shall we say, and I'm pretty sure I have talked about this. I was having a particular moment and I was just crying, like my heart was open and I was just crying and I was just asking for help basically. And I was just like, what do I want? What do I want? Please help me. Calling out to the universe, calling out to, if you want to call the people who guide me somehow. I don't know who they are and I wish I did know because maybe that would make it easier. I think it's just, for me, it's just a consciousness that I can't describe, that is on a plane that I don't know where it is, but I feel it. So it's very hard for me. And I think that is some of the reasons why I am, trying to learn, particularly in regards to my current study and the things that I want to use that knowledge for, where I just want to understand that on a greater, deeper level. And I think, or I know that it will help me. So there's that. But I was at the Fullerton and I was crying my eyes out and I was asking for help and I just kept asking and asking, what do I want, and writing shit down, to eventually where I got to a place where it's like, I just want peace. I just want peace. Now, did I know what that meant really in all encompassing? Wanting peace clearly is a beautiful concept, but to equate that into my life and what that looked like, then that's where it was, last year, where then I'm like, well, how do I create that? how do I make that happen? What are the decisions that I need to make? What are the things that I need to do personally to create a sense of peace within myself? And that's what I've been working on. And this moment where I say to you, and again, I don't know if you've felt this or had this yourself in your life, when you've had a particular moment when you can, hand on heart, clear as day, say it felt like time stopped. I am sure on some, psychological level, it is that it created a connection that was that was disconnected, shall we say. It's probably a good way to describe it. Reconnected a connection that was broken in my psyche. And yeah, very happy to have back and to be comfortable with. And I'd really like to know on a, not separate to a psychological level, or because, obviously there's a psychological component to this, on a metaphysical level, even, where I don't think it was just psychological. I think, honestly, that time stopped. There was nothing. There was nothingness. And I'm sure that there are, without me sitting here now doing ChatGPT and Google searches on, scientists now and in the past that talked about time and trying to explain time, and who have explored the concept of, time travel and time stopping and, the evolution of time, all that. I'm sure some scientist or multiple scientists somewhere have done or try to review, extrapolate, understand this concept of time stopping. And I think, and I have said multiple times now, that not just as an age thing, but as a life lesson, where I can acknowledge that you do get to a point where you do see that it's not about seeing that you have a certain time left, because I don't know what that is, but then knowing that you're at a place where you're like, well, fuck, I've done all the hard work now and I just want to fucking go for it. And that's where I'm at the moment. And I wanted to talk about time in the sense of stopping time, because I don't know. I mean, this moment I'm thinking of, it's very crystal clear in my mind, and it's very difficult to explain. I wouldn't say that I had an out-of-body experience, maybe, but maybe, but I don't think I had an out-of-body experience. And it's not even about having a sense of peace and calmness. It honestly, upon recollection, and I remember even the next day and thinking of this particular moment, and even then it still lingered as a connection of time stopping. And I don't know how that works. I don't know if that's your brain doing that, or if that is time doing that, or it's another level of another. I would like to think it is as glorious and beautiful as being present in another space-time continuum or another plane that, as spiritual people talk about, that, there's the 3D and we're here, and, there's so many levels that we don't know and we don't understand, and, that's what spiritual people are striving for, to reach, and may never reach. But I don't know if that's what it was, where I was experiencing a literal different time plane dimension. It feels like that when I think about it. But then I don't know what that dimension is. So that's why it's truly incredibly hard to verbalize the feeling I had within myself, even thinking about it and recalling the moment. and try to explain to you the moment right now on this podcast. And it probably sounds like I'm dribbling a lot of shit. I'm not. You probably don't listen if you believe that. So there's that. But I suppose I wanted to talk about that today because it all does also tie into this month has gone. The month of January is gone. We're already into February. I know it's going to be another big month or even bigger month. Myself personally, I am on the cusp of something which I'm now a part of, but quickly acknowledge that my life, to use a better word, could pivot very dramatically in a split second. And right now, I'm actually not afraid of that. I don't know if that's what will happen. All I know is that I decided that I needed to make a choice, and I finally made a choice. And it has changed my life so dramatically in a fortnight. It literally, you have no idea. And I'm not going to tell you. One day I will tell you on this podcast what I'm trying to talk about, and I will talk about it in its entirety. Absolutely 100% will be crystal clear what I'm talking about. But for now, I can't do that. It's called discernment. I know that's what I'm going to use today, but I don't know then if it was that, that higher consciousness that I'm referring to that somehow aligned itself to the moment I was experiencing to show me who I was as a person. That's deep. Maybe. Maybe. And that's why I want to talk about, part of the reason why I wanted to talk about this today, because I'm sure for anyone who dealing with, I'm not talking about day-to-day shit, okay? I'm talking about extreme life change. I'm talking about, I don't know, finally coming back to, it's not even coming back to self anymore. It's quiddity. It is what it is. That's the only word that comes to mind at the moment. And, I've talked about this. I've touched on this, is it a turning 50 thing? Is it just dealing with all the shit and coming out the other side? Is it all of that? Yes, I can acknowledge it's all of that, but I'm truly fascinated to know, has anyone else experienced time stopping? Like I said, I know it sounds fanciful. I really do. And like I said, honestly, just that thought that I just verbalised, that perhaps it was, or was it the universe stopping time just so I could experience that moment in its complete entirety, and to not see the past or the future, but to see that moment for what it was and the actual depthness of that moment, to then, I don't know, move forward. And very similar probably themes to having an epiphany, I would say to you. I don't think I had an epiphany. Perhaps I can explain time stopping. I can't because clearly I can't articulate it at all what it felt like. But it's not even having the want or desire to have it again. I mean, it was a beautiful moment, I'm not going to lie, and I'm sure I will have other moments like it. When that moment occurred, it's not that even. It's trying to extrapolate how time stopped. How time stopped and how to, I don't know if it's about stopping it again or it's just about trying to explain it to you on my podcast, or even to explain the depth of the fact that we as human beings are actually, perhaps this is it, that perhaps, how many times can I say no, that the reason why I am talking about it is not only try and, grasp it myself, but to share that with other people to perhaps to understand, I don't stop saying that word, to understand the gravity of decisions that we make in our life and the ability as human beings in its entirety that we actually have, and perhaps we never really stop it. We're not really truly aware of the gloriousness of our inner power that we possess, shall we say, even completely separate to the alignment of what you may have as a spiritual, if you are a spiritual person or if you've never been, experiencing a moment like I experienced and then acknowledging you as a person. I think for me it was where and I have said this in other podcasts where I've talked about coming home to myself, and I suppose that's a lot of people in self-development world talk about that. It's not even that anymore. It's not even coming home. It is who I am, and being at a place where in that split moment I was me, completely me, and I need a drink. Give me a second. And I'm back. That was a long time, eh? I actually had to go and get another drink, which I now have, and I'll actually put the drinks I'm drinking, which is a Jose premix. It's really nice, by the way. I'm also drinking, you know I'm drinking Jose Severa tequila. Come on, bitches. I'm also drinking a Monster Sugar-Free Zero Ultra. Really nice. Like, you hear this in the background. Oh, what, bitch? I was just thinking to myself that with discernment, I won't talk about it, but I really do want to talk about the moment. And which makes it even more challenging to explain time stopping. But I really do think that when I talk about time stopped, and there was connection to whatever it was I was connected to. Not only was I connected to my whole, it's not even been whole, I was just connected to self in its completeness, which sounds like just wholeness, but it in my opinion, is different. And at the same time, consciously or subconsciously being connected to everything and nothing at all. And time stopped. And that's the thing, looking back at that particular moment, and some have come close, but to that particular moment that I'm thinking of at top of mind, there was nothing else. There was no study, there was no work, there was no husband, there was no me, there was no one else. It was time, nothingness. It was everything and nothing all at once. like that movie, Everything and Nothing All at Once. And it's so absolutely beautiful, so beautiful that I can't even put it into words how I felt and how I feel just trying to describe it. And I don't know then what that means. I don't know if that means that, I finally worked it out. I think that's part of it. I finally worked it out. At least a good portion of what I've been trying to work out for 3 fucking years of my life. Sorry. But, what am I saying? Sorry. Weird. That, in that moment, it was complete. The circle was, I know they talk about that. The circle was complete and a new circle was created. And yes, I'm crying. It's not that I'm sad by that. Look, has it been exhausting at times? Yes, extremely, especially in the last couple of months. But at the same time too, then I need to stop crying. Give me a second. Yeah, at the same time, if that was what happened or had to happen to experience that beautiful moment of time, then what am I to say no for? What am I to say no to? Sorry, I'm touching the microphone and making weird noises. Isn't that what you wanted? You asked and you got what you received. Yep. You didn't think you'd receive that though, did you? No. And do I need to know where that leads me? At the moment, there's comfort in knowing actually that I don't really know in its completeness what that means. I know that with recent decisions that I made that I'm very comfortable with them and I'm very intrigued, excited, curious, and I love being curious, by the way, to know what happens. Like I said, there is day and night. It's day and night in a way. It at first was like I'm living in an alternative universe that no one knows about except myself and one other person. And yet today I can sit here and go, honestly, that moment where time stopped, it showed me who I was and what I'm capable of, all that I'm capable of. Mate, I'm going to tell you there's nothing fucking better than that. There is nothing motherfucking better than that. Yeah. I keep playing a lot of music and I'll probably cut most of it out, to be honest, because that's the thing. I didn't think I didn't think a lot. I didn't think this podcast would turn that emotional so quickly, but it did. And I'm actually okay with that because honestly, it is still very present and it is still all encompassing and I'm still trying to wrap my mind around it actually. And I keep saying to experience time stopping. I don't know. I don't know. I wish I was smart enough to know. And I'm pretty smart, but I'm not enough. I know. And I suppose I wanted to talk about it because it's not that like I'm now sitting here going, oh, and now I have to change my whole life to just have time stop again. Look, if it happened again, I probably would have a complete conniption because it was that mind-blowing. It was just thinking about it. But, yeah, I don't know I think I know what it means for me personally, and it's not like I'm going to sit here and go, now that's the dream to stop time and understand that. I wanted to, and this has always been the place where I've shared feelings like this and try to extrapolate from it what I actually mean, because it seems so vast and confusing and preposterous at times, some of these things that I think about or feel or I witness or I'm a part of or I'm not a part of at all. And I suppose it then leads into, we're at the first today. Oh, I'm just going to stop it here. My husband's calling. Give me 1 second. And I'm back. Yeah, so I don't know what the takeaway is from this. I just wanted to talk about it. I think for me, I wanted to talk about, I've just turned 53. It was my birthday. What was I just saying? Today I, got my ear pierced. It's not very exciting. I have pierced ears, but yeah, many, I don't even know when I removed it, but I think it was actually my right ear. I had the helix, which is the top of the ear on the outside, pierced. I can't even tell you. It was probably must have been maybe 30 years ago. 20, I don't know. I'm being dramatic. I'm being dramatic. Maybe, I don't know. Who knows? It was a fucking long time ago. I don't need to give you a specific date or time. Let's just say that, yes, I had the helix pierced and I believe it was my right ear, and then I think it was giving me the shits or something, and then that's the thing, I ended up taking it out, and I haven't had that pierced again and I got that pierced today. So, but my left ear, and I really like it, but it's now sitting on my fucking headphones and it hurts. Good one. Yeah, I wanted to touch on the fact that, and I just touched on this earlier when I said it's been 3 fucking long years. Yes, if it has. I'm not going to sugarcoat it. And I've touched on this subject and some of the things that I've had to explore and understand and break through and move on and make decisions around. It's now it's like, not that I'm starting again, and I don't know in particular. I mean, that's the thing when people, actually not many people have asked, or actually no one has asked why. When I created my Instagram handle, which is the _1_Amanda. And today I titled this podcast 1. I titled that because, yes, there is a little association with Highlander, the movie, if you know, you know, and the application and, the programming I want to do around that, which I've touched on. I think for me, one of the greatest lessons that I've learned, especially recently, is it's okay to be one. It's okay just to be one. And to be completely encapsulated in that as a person. Again, I don't want to use the word wholeness because I don't think it's about being whole. That kind of irks me, that kind of saying in particular. I don't know why. Maybe I'm trying to not believe that. I don't know. But yeah, just being comfortable in oneself, and even perhaps then getting to that place where you are comfortable with just no bullshit, no filter. You know what you want. You know the steps you need to take to get them. Yes, you have other desires and other wants and needs, etc. I'm not saying that. I'm not going to say to you I have a top 10 and I know exactly what I need to do to get them and I'm going to get them. I am very clear, though, on what I want and the time it will take to get some of those things, and more importantly, absolute in being crystal clear when I don't want something. May that be my personal life or my work life, and even being, well, simultaneously, not being more, but simultaneously being just as clear in making choices for myself and being 100% comfortable, clear, emotionless in a way, and it's emotional, but emotionless in going, well, I want this, and doing it and following through and making it happen. And I am I can't speak because I'm that excited. I am extremely excited for the year to come. I need to slow it down because I want to be present. I've talked about this. I want to be more present. Perhaps, again, that was another reason why time stopped in that moment, so that I could experience that moment in its full capacity and understand the gravity of that. And I'd like to think that that's why that did happen. So I am crystal clear that I made the right choice. And yeah, I really would like to extend, an understanding to anyone that perhaps if you are going any way, shape or form, going through some of the similar themes that I might be experiencing in my life at this present time, that you are okay and you're not going insane. Or you might be slightly, that doesn't matter. That you are being looked after and you are okay and you're actually looking after yourself and you're making those choices and you're fucking smashing life, mate. So I'm excited to see what this year will be like. I'm excited to see what my life will now look like moving forward with the choices I've made recently. Yes, I am because I am on the cusp of something at the same time, it does, without me going there in its entirety, create another dimension, actually, that could very well be a possibility and that I'm actually okay with not knowing what that looks like, not having the answers, not being completely in control in that instance. Scary. I'm not going to lie. I'm probably purposely psychologically not fully going to that particular place, because if I was to do that, I could struggle, and there's nothing wrong with that. I think there needs to be time and place to struggle a bit to then come out the other side and realize how fucking awesome you are. But there's only as a human being, you don't strive to do that all the time unless you're a glutton for punishment. I don't know. If that's your jam, let me have a quick sip of my drink. Give me a second. Yeah, I don't I don't think I'm a glutton for punishment, but I'm certainly one to, it's out there. It's out there and bring it on. It's out there and bring it on. So I don't feel like I'm living a double life, even though for a split time I did feel like honestly, I could have been maybe that's when I was trying to make the decision that I made, and there was that split of my personality. Maybe that's why it felt like that I did honestly feel like I was living in an alternate universe to every person I was in the world with. Every single person I interacted with, I honestly felt like I was in a different time-space continuum for about a week. Sounds extreme. That's how it felt. I don't feel like that now, which was good because it was discombobulating. Oh, thank you. Thank you. Yeah, it was. It's not like that now, though, like I said, I will acknowledge that, yeah, I've made some quite serious choices and I'm okay and it will be okay, and I honestly think that's why talking about, without its entirety, what I've experienced in this last 2 weeks, that my life has completely changed. I have completely changed. No one probably even knows. I mean, one person knows. One person knows a little bit about what's happening at the moment. Do they know me to my core? No. Will anyone? I don't know. I've touched on that. I don't even know if my husband knows me to that depth. I know he's probably the one person in my entire life that would probably come close to knowing a lot about me as a human being. Would I say to you that he knows or understands that in its complete essence of a human being? No. Through the filter of a man? No. And that's okay. That is actually okay. It is what it is. Quiddity. But yeah, I don't know. Have you ever experienced a moment in your life? I probably would, if I was to hazard a guess, but, who fucking knows? Let's be honest, because we don't really know, do we? Have you experienced a moment in your life where time has stopped completely? Can you explain what that felt like? Do you want to share what happened at the time? I mean, I could share with what I want to actually share with you what happened at the time. I won't, because I'm going to use discernment, like I said, for everyone involved in this, my life, basically. I will say, though, that it is crystal clear, and I'm sure I will hear it resonate as I listen back to my recording today, how comfortable I am right now. That peace that I talked about, as in I wanted peace in my life, that peace that I wanted, thinking about that night back at the Fulton and scribbling on pieces of paper, multiple pieces of paper, like crying out I was literally crying out, saying to the universe in my room at like 1 o'clock at night, just help me, tell me what I want. What do I want? What do I fucking want? And I worked it out and I didn't know what that would look like. And today I sit here saying to you, that looks like choosing yourself first. Just soak that in for a second. Choosing yourself first. Being comfortable with being first and what that looks like. Making the hard decisions. And you fucking know what they are, bitch. You know what they are. Making the hard decisions. Exploring the harder ones that you know you need to make, but knowing it's okay. Find a person or find your people to support you. If you're a spiritual person like myself, if that's speaking to God, if that's speaking to the higher consciousness, if that's speaking to the people you think are your spirit guides, if that's whatever, speaking to your dead dog that passed away, I don't give a fuck. But if you need that as well, then there's nothing wrong with that. There should never be. But yeah, don't, you do have help. I clearly have help, more help than I could ever imagine. And yeah, maybe think about times in your own life where have you had or have you experienced a time where time literally stopped? And can you explain it to me? Can you explain what that felt like and the trajectory of that moment in your life as it was, and then what did that mean for you, and did it have meaning for you? Did you even acknowledge that time stopped like I did? Like, I could just and, psychologically dismiss it as, I was having a moment. Logically, if I was to explain to you the moment in its entirety, most people would go, yeah, come on, bitch. But no, I am firm in my belief that it happened, and absolute in my belief that it was to show me that I was exactly where I needed to be. Exactly where I needed to be. And when I say to you, that ties back as I take a deep breath and let it out, that ties back to that night at the Fullerton, crying my eyes out, just asking for some fucking guidance, asking, just please tell me what I want. Tell me, what do I want? Tell me. Help me, please. I just need some fucking help here. And that I wanted peace. And now as I sit here and I recall some absolutely life-altering, glorious moments that I've had, in Japan, with friends, with people on my own and with others, and then to sit here today and just confidently say to you that I am one. I am one. The end. So you know what? Have a think about it yourself. I don't know if you're this kind of person like myself where I'm always self-exploring and trying to figure the shit out and all the rest of it. Think about it. And yeah, let me know. And one day I promise, and I will make a promise here on the 1st of February 2026, that one day within the next 2 years I will come back to this podcast. I mean, I'm still – what am I trying to say? The podcast will still continue. What I'm going to declare to you today is, as of the 1st of the 2nd, by 2028, thank you, help me, I will tell you exactly the moment when time stopped. I will absolutely be absolute, hands on heart, honest to God, tell you everything. Every single thing. You'll be like, Amanda, please stop. I'm like, no, I will never be stopped. No, no. But that's my promise. That's my promise to myself and my promise to you, that, my dear listener, that as of the 1st of February 2028, I will, if not on that day, and I have to put a reminder, and I'm going to have to put a note in the description so I remind myself to never forget, and I won't forget because I remember everything. I remember a lot of things. That I will tell you I will tell you complete, absolute, the moment in its entirety without discernment. Okay. So I think I'm going to leave it there today. I think again, had a great birthday. I've had a great week. This year is fucking full force. It's on like Donkey Kong. I'm ready. Let's go. I hope you're ready too. I hope you're enjoying your life. I hope you're okay. If you're not, that you have support and you will be okay. And yeah, I wish you all the very best. So just a couple of admin things as normal. Do I have a business number yet? No. Talking about texting and messaging. No. So in the meantime, you can contact me. You can contact me via email. My email address is info@thetequilahour.com.au. That's my email address. I use Instagram as my social media platforms. So the Tequila Hour is the Instagram handle, and the _1 _ Amanda is my own personal page as well. I have YouTube channels that are related to that as well. If you're interested, the audio automatically uploads. I don't do anything. Yes, I know I need to do. Just shut up. And anyway, enjoy the rest of your day. I'm signing off. It's now 4:08 here in Australia on the 1st of the 2nd, 2026. Take care. Look after yourself. And, yeah, find your own peace if that's what you're looking for. I'll catch you on the next one. See ya. Bye.
Bitch, I'm the one. Bitch, I'm the one. Yeah. I get it done. Yeah. Bitch, I get it done. Bitch, I'm the one. Bitch, I'm the one. Yeah. I get it done. Yeah. Bitch, I get it done.
You better twerk that ass, get it started. We finna get it lit like the Mardi Gras. Diamonds dancing, ice dripping like a broken faucet on me. I'm just a nigga from the land of the free lunch. Corner store trip, rerun, moon full, look at the dark clouds. Where you see us, you wanna be us, huh?
Crash and roll, we gon' light it up. I'm on 10, can't get high enough. I'm on 10, can't get high enough. We fortified, we I'm on 10, can't get.
Bitch, I'm the one. Bitch, I'm the one. Yeah. I get it done. Yeah. Bitch, I get it done. Bitch, I'm the one. Bitch, I'm the one. Yeah. I get it done. Yeah. Bitch, I get it done.
I'm the one, I get it done. I'm keep it 2 in the blick. 3 if I'm on the line. They try and see if I'm a trick. Slide a big box down to 4 or 5. If I'm carried out by 6, 7 or 8 hitters in the caravan with the 9 on the hill.
Crash and roll, we gon' light it up. I'm on 10, can't get high enough. We fortified, we don't know them guys on the other side, they are not with us. I'm on 10, can't get high as us. I'm on 10, can't get high enough.